Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And on the 4-hour chart, we are still waiting for another high right here in the fifth wave. That should put us around 86.8 cents, and then we should complete a much bigger first wave by doing that. As you can see, I think yesterday we tried getting above the third wave high right here and we failed. So this could easily turn into a much bigger AVC structure for the fourth wave move down. If it does happen, and if we do get another low, then expect the other low to get to the 50% support level at 77.1 cents. Probably not lower than that, because if we go lower than that, the last support level would be the 618, and that is at 75.6 cents. So in the worst case scenario, that's the last chance to bounce, but already getting to that level would be pretty bearish because we are still waiting for another high right here. And the fourth wave move down does not usually go to the 618, so I'm not gonna have it on the chart, at least not right now. And yeah, what we're waiting for right now is to get above the B wave high right there at 85.5 cents. Getting above this level would pretty much confirm that we are not going down into a much bigger ABC right here. It could happen because we still do not have 5 waves up, and you know the rule, if we do not have a 5-wave move to the upside, we cannot confirm that the low is in, which means we could even get another low and get back to 66 cents and form an ABC, but do not get your hopes too high for that, because breaking above the B wave high would pretty much confirm that something like that is not the case. And yeah, now going to the daily chart here, it's a different story. We are above the moving average on the RSI, which is a very good sign. So I think we might test it at some point, and we could test it, but only after we complete the fifth wave right here on the 4-hour. So when we do go down into the ABC, we're gonna have the exact same thing on the daily, which means we could do something like this, maybe even test the 200-day moving average, although I don't think we're gonna go that low, but we could at least test the moving average on the daily RSI, and then the next step after that would be to bounce off of it and get a bounce. And the last time something like this happened was right here, as you can see. We were at 50 cents, everybody thought we were getting to bear market lows again, because that's what happens when the price goes down. And I told you that what we need to do is get above the moving average on the daily and retest it, and that's what we did. We got above the moving average right here. We did nothing for a couple of days, but then here we tested it and then we bounced off of it. We formed a small 1-2 setup, and that was enough to go from 50 cents to about 90 cents or so. So this is what we need to do again, and this always happens, by the way. It even happened over here as well, although in the long term we still went down again. Here, as you can see, we broke above the moving average on the daily RSI, and staying above it resulted in us getting a pump from 59 cents to 86 cents. So this is what we're waiting for. We're just waiting to test that moving average, and if we stay above it, I think we could easily break above the previous highs right here at 93 cents pretty soon. Other than that, let's look at the weekly chart, and the weekly chart is pretty much doing what the daily needs to do right now. It's bouncing off the moving average here, and I think this is gonna continue going up for the next couple of weeks, just because the last time something like this happened, the last time we used the moving average as support was right here in November, and after that we went up, but that only happened when Bitcoin dominance went down. And now let's talk about Bitcoin dominance, and let's start on the daily chart. So here, as you can see, we are back above the big support level, the 618. We slightly dropped below it yesterday, but right now we are back above it, and what we need to do is pretty much get rejected by it. If you look at the RSI, we are currently fighting with the moving average right there, so the next step would be to get rejected and then get to about 58%, let's say, and if we do that, it could be good. Now today I promised I would look at the Ethereum dominance chart, so let's do that. And this is pretty much the exact same thing as the Bitcoin dominance chart, except it's Ethereum. So yeah, let's look at what happened in the previous cycle. I mean, right now, obviously it's going up. It went up like 2x in the last, let's say, couple of months, maybe 3 months or so. And I think it has bottomed. I don't think it's gonna go any lower than that. So the next step, I think it's gonna be to get to maybe 18%. I don't think we're gonna get to new highs because this chart is in a downtrend. It keeps putting in lower highs. highs, so it might do the exact same thing in this cycle as well. But I just want to see what happened in the previous cycle when Bitcoin dominance started breaking down. I want to see what Ethereum dominance was doing, and I want to see what the altcoins were doing during that time. So here, as you can see, in December of 2020, this is exactly when Bitcoin dominance pretty much topped. During that time, Ethereum was at 10%. And a month later, it went up like, let's say 7% during this month. And then it had a drop. So let's look at what happened during this drop. This drop started in January of 2021 and it ended in March. And this is not a coincidence. So first, Ethereum dominance went up and then it started dropping, and let me show you exactly why. Here on the Cardano chart at least, if you take a look at what happened in January, this is exactly when Cardano started going up like crazy, and this was pretty much the third wave of the third wave. Why was Ethereum dominance going down? Because the altcoins were doing this over here. But if you look at what happened before that, here, yes, Cardano still went from 12.3 cents to about 40 cents while Bitcoin dominance was dropping and Ethereum dominance was going up. However, the real pump only happened after that move, and as you can see, after that we went from 33 cents, let's say, to about $1.50 while Ethereum dominance was going down. So what we need to do right now is continue going up on the Ethereum dominance chart first. It needs to keep outperforming Bitcoin, and then at some point it's gonna have to get a correction, but not because Bitcoin dominance will go up, no. It's because the altcoins will go up more than Ethereum, and that's going to be the perfect time to do exactly what we did right here in the previous cycle when we had this drop. Now, the RSI could show us something maybe. Here on the weekly RSI, we first got to the overbought territory and then we had this correction, and right now we are not overbought yet, so this could mean that we might get another high, which would make sense because on the Ethereum chart we are expecting it to get to around $4,500 before getting a correction, so this would make sense. And well, if that does happen and if we get another high on the Ethereum dominance chart, let me go back to that chart real quick. If we do get another high, and I'm on the 4-hour, but it doesn't matter, getting another high would put us in the overbought territory on the weekly, and maybe we could get a drop after that. Again, not because Bitcoin dominance will go up, but because charts like, for example, let's look at the ADA Ethereum chart, because charts like ADA Ethereum will start going up again. And yeah, this chart is still in a downtrend, so it could be the perfect time to get some type of bounce over here and maybe break above the 2021 all-time highs. So at some point this is gonna have to get a bounce, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's what you need to know. So if you have no idea what I just said, basically for an altcoin season to start, Bitcoin dominance needs to drop, and while that happens, Ethereum dominance needs to go up, and then at some point Ethereum dominance needs to drop. So that's what we're waiting for right now, and I think we're close to getting something very big, so we're gonna have to wait a bit longer, and that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, again, check out the YouTube memberships and the Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.